What is up, everybody? This is Alex from IHE TV, and today I'm talking about The Long Walk, the new horror thriller from director Francis Lawrence, who, despite looking weirdly like Bradley Cooper in this image, most will know as the director of the Hunger Games franchise, which makes sense. There's a dystopian Fortnite circle kind of setup and vibe here, with the basic premise being a bunch of dudes win some kind of futuristic lottery in some kind of dystopian version of America, where if you can simply walk the longest and maintain your speed of 3 miles per hour, whoever's the last one left walking gets a bunch of money, whatever their heart desires, and some kind of wish. Not like a magical wish, just a game show, you get anything you like type framing. I thought this looked pretty funny and weird from the trailers. It was apparently based on some Stephen King book that was written in the 70s, I think, under a pseudonym. Alright, so we did Running Man, Thinner, and Long Walk, and a bunch of others under this pen name, which as far as film adaptations are concerned means very little to me. There are loads of great Stephen King stories adapted to film, loads that are terrible. And while I liked this, I don't think I'm quite on the same page as some of these reviews. It's leaning very high at the moment, so I'm glad people are enjoying it. But for me, there are a few things that were holding it back from really making the most out of that goofy premise. I kind of enjoyed this world that it set up more the less they explained about it. There are a few moments where characters that would already know the rules of this challenge explain rules to each other, and that kind of awkward, clunky stuff that would take me out of it now and again. And for a film that's pretty short, it's only like an hour 40, an hour 48, I felt it dragging a little bit of points. I could do with maybe about 10 minutes plucked out of this, because you have this big cast of like male characters, and it's quite unpredictable as far as which ones are going to make it, which ones are going to be taken out, what ironic twists are you going to put in there, what commentary are you going to very unsubtly package in. And that was another thing, was just the overall lack of subtlety to this story did bug me. I couldn't help but when I was reading about this film, it's one of those screenplays that's been floating around for ages, and seeing that Frank Darabont was attached at one point has me kind of fantasizing about that version of the movie, where I just feel like there needed to be a stronger director with more of a voice or style to elevate some of the dumber stuff out of the more cliche or movie-ish type thing you expect to see. And by that I mean sort of the over-the-top melodrama. When the music's hitting, it does take itself pretty seriously, which means that the actors and the writing has to really nail that tone and sell it. And I just couldn't quite maintain it for me, despite the initial hook being fun and interesting and simple. I like when it's simple, a simple concept movie. You can project your own thoughts onto it, imagine how far you would get. It's fun to talk about with friends and family. I get that appeal. While I thought David Johnson was very good in the movie, I'm not really sold on Cooper Hoffman. I haven't actually seen Licorice Pizza yet, but he's yet another Nepo baby on the scene. And this is one of those examples where I'm like, man, your dad is Philip Seymour Hoffman. He's like one of the best actors ever. I don't even know personally why you would want to step into those shoes and wouldn't want to carve out your own thing, but why throw away that enormous advantage, I guess? You get to be the main character in a movie. The deal I have with Nepo babies, my unspoken deal, is that I'm fine with it. I know it's like a incestuous industry, but you really have to bring it. You need to elevate what you're in to like prove your worth in a way that anyone else getting into the industry would have to do anyway, but without the clout, name recognition, or the resources that give you that boost. It would show signs to me of a different version of the movie that would be more in line with the way people are talking about it, when it wasn't over-explaining itself and was using the natural way the story was unfolding to explain questions and elements of the world. I like that we don't know about why America is in this dystopia. It's left up to the imagination. There are a couple mentions of some kind of war that didn't go well, how this is some sick TV show that's streamed in a very Hunger Games type way, with the rationale being that it will boost morale and they see productivity go up after it's been streamed or whatever, or shown on TV. There's this washed out kind of 60s nuclear family Americana angle. It's obviously deeply about America. The hamster wheel, the meat grinder, visualizing some of the darker elements of the world that we're born into and forced to compete against each other in. Viciously sometimes, even if it's in spite of your base humanity or true beliefs. To me, this is feeling a little bit like this year's Heretic, another film everyone seems to enjoy more than me, but I'm comparing on the grounds of fun premise exploring some good philosophy or politics or some deeper concept at its heart, but can't quite maintain it for a full feature. I mentioned that it is based on a book, and I frankly could imagine this working a lot better with the way you can just deliver internal monologues and communicate things things about characters that don't require you to slow the film down to a halt to explain things. So I guess that is my biggest criticism, is the tonal balance it's trying to hit and not really landing. And there is an inherent tension to how far you want to take the sincerity of your world. Do you want to create a substance like removing all subtlety, it's maximalist, it's crazy, it's not supposed to be realistic, the commentary is kind of baked into how over the top it is? Or do you want something a bit more realistic, hard-hitting, but then you need to make sure that the serious stuff lands and is consistent with itself, which just didn't work for me for some of the more saccharine moments. I liked what I saw of Mark Hamill. He's kind of vague villain dictator man. I do think when it hits its stride, pardon the pun, it will do some clever stuff. Like, one of the best sequences in the movie is just like when there's a slight incline. So the juxtaposition of these people walking, but the tension being so high is fun and clever. But again, I feel like that would just hit harder in book form, where your imagination can pick up some of the heavier pieces. But I do like the simplicity of this. 20 million budget is extremely modest. I'd be surprised if they didn't make that back, with the gimmick marketing of these special treadmill showings and this kind of thing. Oh, he did I Am Legend. That kind of makes sense. That's another movie that builds up like a cool world, but can't maintain it, gets too silly towards the end. He's just not that exciting of a director to me. I don't even feel like I need to do a spoiler section. It's kind of one of those movies. It's so simple and matter of fact. Hey, at least they addressed how they poo and pee. That was quite grotesque. Don't know if the close-up executions and the way that was visualized was that necessary. Like showing people's CG faces like being exploded off. I know it's a horror movie, but to me I found it a lot more effective when it was implied or a character shifts focus into the background so you can't really tell what's going on. The violence is obscured a bit. I'm not a prude, it just felt like tonally that was a bit show-offy for the type of movie it's going for. So I'll leave it at that for now. What did you think of The Long Walk? Did it speak to you more than me? I enjoyed my time with it. Don't think I'm revisiting it anytime soon. Wish a more electric director could have tackled this story because it is fun and pretty prescient right now. So I'm going to leave that at 3-star. Solid. Not really going to linger in my memory. There are better horror movies this year, but not the worst way to spend an hour 40 minutes. See you on the next vid. Bye.